So what is the future of intelligence? Today, we're going to dive deep into that very question, but through the eyes of one of the key architects of this whole revolution, Demis Hassabis, the CEO of DeepMind. We're going to look at his vision for how AI is set to tackle, well, pretty much everything, from the biggest mysteries in science all the way to the very fabric of our society. And look, the pace of this change, it's just staggering. Hassabis himself put it perfectly. He said, the last year alone felt like we packed in 10 years of progress. Think about that. This isn't some slow, gradual change. It's a full-on explosion. And that really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so where is all this power, this explosion of AI capability actually being aimed? I mean, it's got to be for more than just making better chatbots, right? You bet it is. The real grand vision here is to point this intelligence at the most fundamental, the most difficult challenges in science. We're talking about the kind of problems that, if you solve them, could unlock just untold benefits for all of us. Hassabis has this great term for them. He calls them root node problems. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's like if you solve just one of these massive root problems, the solution branches out and helps you solve dozens of other problems downstream. Just imagine it. Room temperature superconductors, completely changing electronics as we know them. Or, better batteries that totally transform our energy grid. These are the huge, huge prizes that AI is now being aimed at. And hey, this isn't just some sci-fi dream for the future. We've already got proof that this works. I mean, it's been 5 years since AlphaFold 2, that's DeepMind's AI, cracked the protein folding problem. This was a monumental challenge in biology that had scientists completely stumped for 50 years, and an AI solved it. That was the moment we knew, for sure, that AI could really take on these grand scientific challenges.
And this is the perfect illustration of that ultimate goal. Just take fusion energy. If AI can help us finally crack the code, figure out how to contain a stable plasma reaction, we unlock a future with virtually unlimited clean energy. I mean, really, think about what that means. It could solve climate change. It could give us clean water for everyone through desalination. It would completely, utterly transform our world. All right, so if AI is already this powerful, what's holding it back? What's stopping it from becoming true artificial general intelligence, or AGI? An AI with human-like smarts across the board. Well, it turns out the path forward isn't quite as simple as just making these things bigger.
This right here is the core paradox, what some people are calling jagged intelligence. It's kind of wild. On one hand, an AI can solve math Olympiad problems that would stump all but the absolute brightest people. But then on the other hand, that very same AI can make a ridiculously simple logic mistake or can't even play a consistent game of chess. It's brilliant and kind of basic, all at the same time. So to smooth out those jagged edges and get to true AGI, Hassabis says there are 3 key missing pieces. First, you need consistency, right? The AI has to be reliable no matter what you ask it to do. Second, it needs much deeper reasoning and planning, so it can actually think multiple steps ahead. And third, and this one is crucial, it needs to be able to learn continuously from the world, just like you and I do. Okay, so how in the world do you teach an AI to understand reality and learn all the time? Well, one of the most exciting ideas is to build entire virtual worlds for them to train in. And this is where things start to get really wild. The big idea here is something called a world model. Basically, it's an AI that isn't just trained on books and articles from the internet, but on the actual rules of reality. It's learning a kind of intuitive physics, how things move, how they bounce off each other, what happens when you push something. It's all about grounding the AI's intelligence in the real physical world.
And this is how it all clicks together. So DeepMind has this AI called Genie, and it can create a totally playable interactive video game world from just a single image. It's incredible. Then they drop another AI called SIMA into that world to explore it and learn. Just pause and think about that for a second. One AI creates the world, and another one learns inside it. This sets up an infinite training loop, a literally limitless playground for AI to learn and master new skills. So we're building these unbelievably powerful systems that can learn in infinite virtual worlds. It's amazing. But what happens when we actually succeed? What does the world look like? Let's zoom way out for a minute and think about the massive impact AGI is probably going to have on all of us. To even begin to wrap your head around the scale of this, Hassabis used this really powerful analogy. He says the AGI revolution will probably be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution, and it'll happen 10 times faster. Let that sink in. We're not talking about a slow 100-year change. We could be talking about a single world-altering decade. And if you look back at the Industrial Revolution, it's kind of a blueprint for what's to come, both the good and the bad. Yeah, it gave us modern medicine, way lower child mortality, and tons of food. But it also caused huge job losses and massive social upheaval. The big lesson here is that while the benefits can be immense, the transition is always rocky, and this time, it's coming so much faster. Which brings us to a really deep, kind of philosophical question. If AGI automates a huge chunk of what we call work today, and we maybe enter an age of post-scarcity, what happens to our sense of purpose? So much of our identity, is tied up in our jobs, in providing for our families. As a society, we're going to have to totally redefine what a meaningful life even looks like. This whole incredible quest, this race to build AGI, it's not just about technology. It's forcing us to confront the ultimate questions about ourselves and, really, our place in the universe. The fundamental scientific question that really drives Hassabis is this. What are the absolute limits of computation? Is there anything in the entire universe, a star, a galaxy, a human emotion, that is fundamentally impossible to compute, that can't be simulated by a machine? And he says that so far, we haven't found a single thing. And this is where it leads, the ultimate experiment. By building AGI, we're essentially creating a simulation of a mind. And once we have that, we can hold it up right next to our own and compare them. We can finally start to ask, what, if anything, is different? Is it consciousness? Is it creativity? Is it love? AGI becomes this incredible mirror, helping us understand what is truly, uniquely special about being human. And that leaves us with this final, absolutely staggering thought. Is the human mind, with all of its creativity, its feelings, its warmth, its consciousness, is it ultimately just something that can be computed, something that can be replicated by a machine? The answer to that question, well, it's going to define not just the future of technology, but the future of what it means to be us.